As the days get short and the weather gets dreary, one of my favorite things to do is play some seasonal Minecraft. In this video, I'll build a very cozy Halloween-themed village, and I'll be doing that as a witch. So if you want to see how that goes, kick back and watch. We straight off landed in a very fall-looking biome. This is not a mod, by the way. It's a resource pack I have installed that makes basically every biome look like it's fall, which, I mean, it's pretty cool. Look at those pretty leaves. We might be a witch now, but we still have to get the early Minecraft stuff out of the way, so let's punch a tree. Let's immediately make some tools with this. I just grab a pickaxe for now and an axe. And for now I will forego upgrading to stone tools because I am spotting a village over there. And I'm hoping that they might have some tools we could snatch. And they indeed have some tools we can snatch. Look at this chest. That's awesome. Let's put these on as well. Also, look how cute these furnaces look in the resource pack. A little bit scary, but mostly cute. Books, we'll be taking them as well. I will also steal that poor villager's job and grab the lectern. I'm sorry. Working sucks anyway, right? Oh, yeah, never mind. Look at this guy. You look fine, good sir. Do iron golems always have red eyes? That looks really scary. And while we're at it, I feel very bad, but I kind of want more iron. So you are gonna have to go. Of course I'm doing it with a wooden axe. This is gonna take a minute. Oh no! My axe is breaking. Well, that was embarrassing. But worth it. We got 7. That golem dropped 5 iron. Thank you so much. It was a worthy sacrifice, I promise. As you can see, I also have the Farmer's Delight mod installed. I've never played with that before, and I'm pretty excited. Speaking of mods, about the witch situation, I basically have a mod installed which lets me be a witch, and it adds several branches of magic to the world that I can explore. For example, potion brewing, herbology, ritualistic, like circle magic, and yeah, we'll be testing as much of that as we can in this series. And I think to get started, you need to craft a book, like a witch guide, a grimoire if you want, and for that you need belladonna seeds, and belladonna seeds can be dropped by breaking grass, so it'll drop the usual wheat seeds, but then also, yes, here we go, belladonna seeds. We also need the usual ingredients for a book and quill, so a feather, some ink, and a book. So let's take a nap and then grab that and then craft our witch guide. Let's go! There's a squid already, so with our fancy wooden sword, let's grab some ink. Did that drop a feather? Yes, that one dropped some. We did grab some books from the village, so we should have everything for the witch guide. Yes, we got our books, belladonna seeds, feather, and ink sacs. Yes, here we go, the art of witchcraft. I'm excited. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So basically this one is just the introduction, and it gives us the guide to craft 5 more books that will then go into each of the branches of magic that we can do. For example, there's a whole book about herbology, which we can craft with a poppy and a dandelion. And then that gives us a list of, I think, vanilla plants as well as magical plants that we can use for stuff like potions. Speaking of potions, there's a whole book we can use for that, for which we will need belladonna flower this time and exhale of the horned one. You need to do some magic to get exhale of the horned one in the first place. This is why I think you have to craft the books in this order, because only then you'll be able to do everything. So I guess we'll be starting with some herbology, but first let's find a place to settle down, because we also need a base. One thing I'll be doing in this world is grab every single pumpkin I come across, because, well, this is a Halloween video and I'm building a Halloween village, and this is gonna be so packed with pumpkins. We've been boating for a while and we came across this island. It's a little too big for all of it to be a village. I don't think the whole island will be transformed, but maybe the upper part here. And now my plan for today is to just build my own base, like a witch hut somewhere, and then in the coming episodes I will add a whole Halloween themed village next to it. And now the way I see this, I'm a friendly witch, you know, I'm a good witch. I'm good friends with the villagers and we have a mutually beneficial relationship. They let me stay here, they're good company, and then in return they come to me with their ailments and I'm helping them. So I'm not some evil witch, I'm a good one. That's why I will be living right next to a village. Not in the village, I think, but right on the edge of it. So I grabbed everything we need for the herbology guide. So let's take a look. Basically, this gives me a list of all the plants that I can use for magic, including some common ones that you can just find, like belladonna, garlic, mandrakes and stuff. But then there's also plants that you don't find, that you have to create with magic. And what you need for that is mutandis. That's basically something that lets you convert plants you can find into plants that you can't find. For example, if I want a rowan tree, which I think you need for quite a lot of magic, you need to transform something else. And for that, I need mutandis, which I can make in a cauldron, which I do not yet have, so that's something we need to make. And then I also need exhale of the horned one, which I think can be obtained through a witch's oven, so that's also something we need to make. Before we go on the hunt for resources, we're gonna add a little starter farm area here. We're gonna add the usual wheat, but then we're also gonna start a little witch garden. We got some belladonna seeds here, some wolfsbane seeds. By the way, I don't know if that means that there's also werewolves in this mod. It's entirely possible. Oh no, the water artichoke needs to go into the water. Let's put that here. And we got, okay, flaxseed. I don't think that's the witch mod. I think that's Farmer's Delight, but I'll add it anyway. And some mandrake seeds. Alright, and now I'm actually gonna stay awake through the night and wait for spiders to spawn, because I also got a backpack mod installed, and the only thing that's missing to craft a lower tier backpack is string. There's a spider. Nice. Yes, I think I've grabbed everything we need for the backpack. We need to make a sleeping bag first, and then I think it's chest in the middle, sleeping bag below, for leather in the corners and string on top. Here we go. Now what we're gonna do next is just collect all of the resources that we need for building, and I'm also gonna try and grab some sheep and cows somewhere and put them in a pen. Then look what I've spotted in the distance. That looks like a structure which is added by one of my mods. I want to check that out. We have reached the house, so we're definitely setting our spawn here, because I think there's bad guys in there. Invitation to the tea party. That sounds ominous. I want to see if I can grab these without breaking them. No, it's just bones. Well, but I will take bones actually. And then maybe we can come back someday with Silk Touch, because maybe Silk Touch will pick these up. There's a wither skeleton skull. Alright, so I might have taken a break from filming here, and when I came back I might have forgotten to hit start recording again, which is why you guys missed quite some chaos. I died 3 times till I found a spawner, which was hidden right here under the furnaces. On one hand, it sucks that you guys missed this. On the other, I'm kind of glad, because it really was very embarrassing. But now, look at the loot that we're getting. More golden carrots and then a whole block of diamond. How crazy is that? And ancient debris. Because I didn't want to die anymore, I also built up my way to the attic and sneaked the loot that was there. Guys, do you remember how I said we were going out to grab all of the resources we needed for our house? Well, we did go out and we did come back with a full inventory and a full backpack, and this is the grand total of things we got that we need for the house. So yeah, we need to go out again. But first I found, where is it? I found 1 glowberry at the haunted house, and I've already planted it here because I love glowberries as a light source. And since we haven't found a lush cave yet, I'm just gonna bone meal the hell out of this 1 glowberry that we do have. both my inventory and my backpack are getting very full, so I think we're gonna start the journey back, and I'm just hoping that we come across a dark forest on the way back, because dark oak is the only important thing that's really missing at the moment. We're on our way back home, and I've just spotted that. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks very abandoned. I say we check it out. Looks like an abandoned farm. A zombie horse. Are you gonna bite me? No? Okay. So I don't have a saddle, but I think once I maybe got some, I'll be coming back for you to see if maybe I can tame you. Would be really funny if I could ride a zombie horse in this. Oh, I know what this is now. It's another mod I have installed called Haunted Harvest that, among other things, gives me corn, which I thought would be perfect for this video. So let's grab some. I'm not even sure what we can do with that, but in an autumn themed video, it's just never a bad idea to have some corn, I think. Maybe some cornfields. But what we haven't found so far is a dark forest. So I'm still hoping for that. Now we are back at base, just unfortunately without any dark oak. But I just had a look at our map, and turns out we boated by a dark forest when we came here from spawn. So I think I'm just gonna craft myself a boat and head back there. This is gonna be quite a journey, but hopefully it won't take too long by boat. Look how serene this is. So beautiful, boating at night. We made it! So let's grab some of this, make sure we have enough saplings, and then go home and finally get our house built. We are back at base and we now got everything we need for our house. I want it to be like a witch wagon. I think I will build the house first and then add the wheels. So let's just go up. I think I want the floor to start at this height. And then I'm gonna bring up the walls. And then let's strip all that. I want the door to be on this side. Now, I think I want to swap some of these for planks. Now I also want to add some pillar trims to the edges. Let's add some trapdoors to the sides here as a railing. Now I want to pull the whole trim around, but we're not gonna do that with the actual trim. I think we're just gonna use slabs and trapdoors. For the upper floor walls, we'll be using the chipped mod. I want something patterned, maybe this. Yeah, let's just follow the same outline, and I think we'll go up 3 as well. I took out the trapdoor so we can go up here. Yeah, I think that's fine, but we need some trim for the upper floor as well. Now we're gonna add some flower beds and shutters as well. For the roof, I think we'll go along these edges with dark oak beams, and then we'll fill it in with moss. I want to go one out, and I want this 3 tall. Now let's go pretty up the roof with some leaves, and we'll do a dark oak trim. And now this is our finished build. I think it looks pretty cool. Now for the interior. I want this to be a little kitchen, storage, living room area. So from the Farmer's Delight mod, let's add a stove here. Maybe put a pot on top of it immediately, and then a furnace and a blast furnace on both sides of it. And one of my mods gives me this really cute pumpkin decoration, which I'm gonna put here. Actually, I wanna try and place it the other way around. Yeah, that's better. Looks really cute. Oh, look at that. Then 2 chairs here. Yeah, that looks cute. Then I'm gonna take these cupboards, place them here and here. And then I have made a tinkering work table, which lets me craft a lot of different versions of lanterns. And one of them is this paper lantern that I think is really cute. And then this area, I want to be a little workstation area, the botanist workbench. And then we also have the tinkering table. And I can actually sit in these. How cute is that? I can sit in these chairs as well. I love that. Honestly, just having the option of actually sitting down makes Minecraft feel so much more immersive. Alright, let's go upstairs. Let's put the bed here. And I have a nightstand. And guys, the cutest thing, a little froggy nightlight. How cute is that? Then I need to wall this off. To make it look a little more open, I will make it with trap doors. And then on this side I want to have a little more storage and work area. Alright, and now this area is where it gets a little complicated. I'm gonna place a witch's oven here. This one was fairly easy to make. You just needed some iron. So basically this works like any other oven. You need some fuel here. You can burn, for example, saplings, and then you need to place a clay jar in here, and this will then burn down your sapling to wood ash and give you some sort of fume which has magical properties and which you can then use for other magical things. Now, as you could see right now, it doesn't always work if you use it just like that with just this, but there is guaranteed success if I add 2 fume filters on the sides. But I can't make them yet because they're made with magical ingredients which I don't have yet. So that's what we're going to be working on next. We crafted another witch guide, this time about extraction. This shows us all of the different fumes that we can extract by burning something in the witch's oven. All of these you can use for different kinds of magic, for potions, for rituals, etc. Another thing I really like about this mod is that there's a little bit of lore behind it. Celtic lore. For example, here you learn that there was a goddess whose name I absolutely cannot pronounce, this Brigid, whatever, and that bird represented healing and protection, and I looked it up, that's actually true. So you can even learn some interesting things while playing this. Now, as I said, there's not a guaranteed drop of these fumes whenever you burn a sapling. If you use just the witch's oven that we've already installed upstairs, you'd have to add filtered fume funnels to get guaranteed drop. 1 funnel on each side, so 2, and for this you need fume filters which require magic. To craft these we need an attuned stone, which is basically just a diamond that's been charged with magic. We would need to make whiff of magic, and we get whiff of magic by burning a rowan sapling in our witch's oven. Now this is where it gets complicated again, because rowan sapling is not a vanilla sapling. You need to use magic to get it by mutating any other kind of sapling or small plant like flower, etc. And how do you do that? You need mutandis for it. And how do you make mutandis? With the cauldron, which is yet another witch instrument that we haven't got yet. We do have one big problem now, which is that we have a grand total of 1 iron ingot left, and another thing that we're lacking is hot chocolate. And for that we need cocoa beans. That might be a little ridiculous, but I think just for the sake of cocoa beans, we are gonna go on an expedition to find a jungle, and hopefully on the way we'll find some more iron. So we were successful, but it did take us quite some time. I can't wait to get a broom. But for now, we had to do the journey on foot, and it was long and it was arduous. And we did it only for cocoa beans. So I say we now have to enjoy the fruit of our labor. I've already grabbed everything we need, which is a bowl, some milk, the cocoa beans and pumpkin, and then we have our pumpkin spice hot cocoa. So with that, let's sit down by the stove and enjoy. Isn't that just so cozy? And it smells so good. Now, I took a sip, it was very yummy, but I think the rest we will leave here to look very cute. Look at that. And it smells even better than it looks. So now it's time to do some magic. Let's look again into our herbology book, and there we see that we can craft mutandis in a cauldron by adding mandrake root, exhale of the horned one, and an egg. I already got both mandrake roots and an egg, so what's missing is the exhale of the horned one. And if we take a look at our extraction book, it shows us that we need to burn an oak sapling in our witch's oven. So let's do that first, and we're gonna hope that it drops the exhale. Well, not the first time. That's why we need these extensions. We're gonna work on that. Quite a lot of wood ash we're collecting here. Now we finally got one. So now with mandrake, the exhale of the horned one, and the egg, we got everything to make mutandis. We just need to make the cauldron, which I already have a vanilla cauldron here, and we need to make that into a witch's cauldron, which doesn't sound too hard to do. Just mandrake seeds, belladonna seeds, water artichoke seeds, snowball seeds, and then we get this anointing paste. There you have a witch's cauldron. And now the funny thing is, you don't right click it or anything, you just literally, you throw the items in like this. And then we can watch it do its magic. And then I think we can grab the mutandis. Yes, and we should get 6 out of it. If we now mutate this grass up here, it could just as easily become a flower that we don't want. So we might need to use up quite a lot of mutandis to get what we need, but let's try. Oh, it actually immediately gave us an alder sapling. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna grab that. And ember moss. I need some shears for this, I think. Oh, does that? It gives you fire damage. I didn't know. Okay, well, good to know. Grab this. And then we got 1 mutandis left. Fingers crossed this turns into a sapling. Nope. We grabbed more mandrake, exhale of the horned one, and X, and we tried it again. And while the mutandis was cooking, we did a little witch dance for good luck. And the good luck dance worked. We got a hawthorn sapling. Nice. Now I think we're just missing the rowan sapling. And it actually worked. We got a rowan sapling the 3rd round. I need to do this witch dance every single time. It works like a charm. Now, let's plant these 3 saplings up, so we don't have to do that again. Alright, all 3 trees have grown. Here we got the rowan tree, this is the alder tree, and over here we got the hawthorn tree. So let's bring them all down immediately, and let's hope that we get a lot of saplings out of this. 3 hawthorn saplings, that's perfect. Currently we only need rowan saplings, so I'm just immediately gonna replant all 3 of those. The rowan tree also gave us 3. Nice. Now in this case I'm only gonna replant 1. Now with the rowan saplings, let's go back up and do some magic. Yes, here we go. Now with this we can make our fume filter. And now we get more drops. We can only make sure that we always get a drop if we add a filtered fume on both sides, but I can't craft the other one yet because for a fume funnel you need glowstone. And we had a wandering trader coming by earlier that I only bought 3 of, and 2 of them I already transformed into glowstone powder because I needed that for my nightlight. And so we only had 1 glowstone left. So until the trader comes back or we make a trip to the nether, we won't be able to add the second one. But adding that one will ensure that we get a lot more drops. Also, while we're up here, I want to show you what I did with the glowberries. I just basically, to have some light in here, I added glowberries everywhere. I also added these 2 pumpkins to the entrance, and then I also cleaned up the outside area. I took all of the chests and stations away that were here, and I put them here. I don't know if this is a final solution. I just didn't have a better space for them right now, but to be honest, I kind of like the secret space under our house that we have, especially with the ranks growing down here. And then I also started adding a path that will eventually go all the way over to the area where I want the village to be. And now with all of that done, I think this is a great spot to end the episode. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and please consider liking or subscribing. Hi and welcome to episode 2 of Building an Autumn Village as a Witch. In this one, we're building a cozy but haunted manor, so let's get right into it. We have this really cool hill overlooking the entire area where the village will be, and I thought a manor would fit perfectly here, so that's where it'll go. Before we can do anything up here though, I will have to do some terraforming because I will need a big enough space and I will need that space to be even. So let's take away some stone layers here. We've finished terraforming this, and also we've already laid down the outline of where the manor will go. But what we're gonna do before we start building that is an iron farm, because I am constantly running low of iron just doing this terraforming. I think I went through 4 iron pickaxes, so that won't do. I've already prepared a little village breeder here. I just need to add 2 beds, and then we have a village right over here, which I think we haven't even explored yet. So we'll go there and grab some villagers. I'm at the village and I got 4 villagers now into the boat, but then I realized that I'm playing Minecraft in a version where I can't yet pull boats by a lead, so I'm actually gonna have to break these and place them again, because I can only ever take 1 villager at a time. And yes! Okay, I've got a singular villager here. I will take that one home with me. Please don't try to go back home. I need you to fall in. Of course. Yes! No! Oh my god! What am I doing? It's dangerous out at night. You need to go to bed. Come on, come on! Yes, finally. Okay, now I will get rid of these stairs so that no zombie gets in while I'm gone. And then I'm gonna go through that whole ordeal again and grab a second villager, and then I'm gonna breed them up. Well, it took us another 2 days, but we finally got 2 villagers here. So we will give them a ton of bread now, so that hopefully they will breed up, fill these beds, and maybe have 3 kids while we build the iron farm. Oh nice, it already worked. Yes! I have scrunched up the last of our iron for an anvil, since we'll be needing a name tag for our iron farm zombie. And I think we'll be naming him Casper, since, you know, he'll be spending the rest of his time haunting a couple of poor villagers. Look at this. We got 4 baby villagers already. I didn't even know it was possible to have more villagers in a breeder than you got beds. I'm gonna kidnap 3 of them anyway for the farm, so the more the merrier, I guess. So for the iron farm, I want it to be in the corner of the house. I'm gonna start digging down here. I'm gonna link the video in the description box, of course. I'm gonna be using an underground iron farm just because I want it to be hidden by the manor on top. So now we need to get the villagers in so that they can sleep for a night before the zombie comes. Also, it's night, so I am gonna take a nap in these very fresh beds. Okay. Come on, get in the boat. Come on, dude. There's more than enough space for all 3 of you. Go to sleep. Yes. Okay, I got this mostly filled in. This is gonna be the spot where the zombie would go, and then there are our sleeping villagers, and then here is the space for our chests. Now we have to add the actual trap for the iron golem. Okay, now we will get out of here and try to get a zombie. Oh my god. No. Oh no. Well, let's slowly dig our way out of here. I'm very much grieving the 25 XP levels I had. That's a pain, especially since I was planning to do the enchantment setup soon, but that's just how it is sometimes. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we got back all of our stuff. Now we just have to wait until nightfall and then get a zombie in down there. I'm just not sure whether it will work because we got so many villagers up here and they also spawn golems. So if it won't work, I think I will take away their beds. Follow me. No, no, no. We're supposed to get into the boat. Alright, so it turned out we did have to relocate the villagers. They're now in a dirt hut down there. But I've been doing some odd jobs around the area, and in the meantime we collected this much iron. So I guess it's safe to say the farm is working. Which means we can now actually get started with this build. I already have the outline here, so we're just gonna have to fill it in. I want it to be dark, so mostly we're gonna be using dark oak. Now we're gonna go up 4 and then connect the pillars. Here I will leave space for a window. Here as well. Here I'm gonna have a 2 wide window. And here as well. And we'll do the same thing on the other side and then fill in the back wall. We filled in the walls of the first floor, leaving space for where the windows would then go. And then we also got started on the second floor, this time already adding in the glass. And then at the front of the house we added a little tower. I filled in all of the windows and I also swapped some of the strip blocks for planks to make the whole building look a little more old and patchy. And now we're gonna add a sort of railing around the first floor, or like a sort of balcony here in front. We're gonna wrap it all the way around. And pillars. I think up there on the balcony we're gonna do a second layer of slabs. Now we're gonna add some trims. And then I think up here I'm gonna swap these pillar trims with slabs and we'll wrap that all the way around. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. We just need to fill in the roof. It's gonna have a dark oak trim and the rest is gonna be deep slate, which we don't have yet. So I think this is the perfect time to start a strip mine. And maybe on the way we'll also find some diamonds, which is never bad. Why don't we dig down right here in our hidden workstation area? We found diamonds! Yay! I think we got more than enough deep slate. We got this and then already I started smelting some of that up. So I think we're ready to get the roof done. And this is our house with the roof filled in. The only thing that's missing on the outside is some decorations like spider webs and leaves, and then I also want to add shutters to the windows, but I want the shutters to be warped wood. So that means we have a trip to the nether ahead. While we're at it, I also want to grab some glowstone. Of course, if I want to use full glowstones, I'm gonna need a silk touch pickaxe, so maybe our next little side project will be an enchanting setup. Down here below our manor, I've already prepared a space. I want there to be a marketplace later, and here in the middle I have some space for the enchanting setup. So let's maybe go ahead and do that. Although I only have 23 levels, so I might just have to make a silk touch villager. I'm not sure yet. So we got our full enchanting setup done, but I am pretty sure I can't even get Silk Touch without 30 levels. So well, it's still good that we have the enchanting setup now. It's definitely gonna come in handy at a later point, but for now I think maybe a villager will have to do. Finally, we got Silk Touch. It's a little more expensive than it has to be because I might have accidentally hit the poor villager, but it's fine. At this point I'll take anything. So let's grab Silk Touch. Here we go. Let's grab some more obsidian and then we're ready to go. 14 obsidian should be more than enough. I think I'm gonna place this somewhere in the forest by our witch hut, and then later I can work on making it seem kind of overgrown. We're in a so sad valley. I don't love that. We're looking for a warped forest because we need some warped wood for our shutters mainly, but then we're also looking for glowstone, which I can already see some down there. We found a warped forest finally, so let's grab some wood from here. We're back from the nether. It was a successful trip. Another thing I want to do with my Silk Touch pickaxe is go back to the haunted houses that we found and try to grab some of those sitting skeletons. There's a creeper skeleton. Nice. This is what it's looking like from the outside now. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, it's a little overgrown, but then again, that's just what happens to old buildings. So now for the interior. One of the first things I want to do is swap the stone floor for some marble texture floor that I want to do with smooth stone for the bright parts and deep slate for the dark parts. I think I'm pretty happy with this floor. Now we do the stairs and then the upper floor. I think I want to do trapdoors as a railing. A fireplace here in the middle. And then I've prepared some things that we can put on the mantle here. We have a picture frame, a stack of books here. This corner of the room I want to be the dining room. Once we're done with the interior, we're actually gonna prepare some Farmer's Delight meals that are placeable, like a roast chicken or a stuffed pumpkin, and then we're gonna place that on a table. Yes, I like that. A pot here, some firewood in front of the chimney. I've been sharing the sheep a lot, so I think I have enough wool for a pretty big carpet here that can also go up the stairs. Why don't I just bring you back once the interior is finished and then I'll show you around. The interior of the manor is finished, so let me give you a walkthrough. First of all, I added this path up there with some lighting because it was just a very steep area. And then I had also forgotten about the shutters that I wanted to add, so I added some of those, only partially because I wanted it to look very old and run down and like some of it had just rotten away. Now let's go in. The entryway and most of the downstairs you've already seen. We are greeted by our pumpkin guards. We're twins! I'm only missing the pumpkin head. And now in general, this manor once belonged to a very wealthy but seclusive family. They have disappeared decades ago. Nobody knows what happened to them or where they went. And the house now stands empty, except for the caretaker, who's a very mysterious man who mostly keeps to himself. But once a year, the entire village gathers in this manor to celebrate Thanksgiving. And this is the dining room where the feast is held every year. Now, as you can see, preparing the feast is the one thing we haven't done yet, and we will get to it right after we're finished with this little room tour. Now, over here, there's just the entrance to the iron farm, but that's not interesting right now. Then here's our stairway. And here at the top of the stairs, there's this living room, sitting room, library situation, some lighting as well. Also, there's a very cute badge hanging from the ceiling. Isn't that just so funny? Also, there's some trophies. There's a bear trophy, a skeleton trophy. There were apparently some hunters in the family that once lived here. And now through this door is the master bedroom. The inside of the house doesn't look as run down as the outside because the caretaker is still living here. He's still using all of these rooms, so they're mostly taken care of. What's that? You saw a ghost in the mirror? Well, if you did, that's actually entirely possible. Because while so far the inside of the house seems pretty warm and inviting, the family that once lived here had some very dark secrets. There is a hidden attic in this manor, and while nobody alive remembers what kind of experiments and occult practices the family got up to in here, the remains that can still be found speak of something wicked. Nobody knows about this attic. Well, maybe the caretaker does. He's a very secretive man and nobody really knows what's going on inside his head. But the villagers certainly don't know. Otherwise, they would never hold their annual Thanksgiving feast in the very same halls that these poor souls have once perished in. I mean, look at this. One of them tried to flee, but didn't quite make it to the door, although it wouldn't have helped them anyway. This is not an escape route, it's just a room with a view. And then there's this poor guy who was apparently counting the days that he was prisoner here. He didn't make it very long. It looks like he died on day 8. Poor thing. Anyway, I'm getting goosebumps. It's very dark and dreary in here. Let's go back down where it's warm and inviting. One thing we're most known for in this village is our magical cooking skills, which is why most years we are the ones being made responsible for preparing the actual Thanksgiving feast. So let's go ahead and do that. For the feast, we prepared a stuffed pumpkin, a honey glazed ham, a shepherd's pie, some roast chicken, roasted mutton chops, pasta with muttons, as well as a pumpkin pie and an apple pie. So with all of our meats in tow, let's get back and prepare the table. We got 4 placeable meals. I've already prepared the spaces for those. We got the stuffed pumpkin, the glazed ham, the shepherd's pie, and the roast chicken. And then the rest of these, I'm just gonna use cutting boards as plates. So we have some roasted mutton chops here, a pumpkin pie here, an apple pie here, the mutton pasta here, and then the other 2 are gonna have to make do with some cooked rice. Their doctor put them on a diet, and we're just following the doctor's orders. We're not playing favorites here or anything. And doesn't that just look so good? I'm getting hungry for real just seeing that. With this meal prepared, I feel like this is a pretty good spot to end the episode. Also, did you hear the iron golem dying in the background? Makes for some ambience. I love it. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider liking or subscribing. That would mean a lot to me. And I will see you next time, because we've still got a lot to do here. Alright folks, it is day 130 and I've just set myself the goal to finish this world within 200 days. So we have still got a lot to do and we need to get going. One thing that needs a lot of love is this area. I want it to be a market area. I've already prepared the spaces where I want some stalls to go, as you can see. And then there's this. I was thinking I could build a pumpkin around it, because why not? It's harvest season here in the village, so that means pumpkins. Obviously for the pumpkin I'm gonna need a lot of orange blocks. Now the only orange blocks that I have or can craft are orange wool and orange concrete, but I'm gonna want a little bit more texture than that. I'd love to have some acacia wood and maybe red sandstone and maybe even terracotta, which none of that we've got yet. But I took a look at our map and quite a ways to go. In the north there's this tiny little savanna area with what looks to be 1 tree. So yeah, I want to go there and grab that. Only this is a pretty long journey, so I'm gonna try and make that journey on broom. Now the thing is that to make a broom that can actually fly, it's a little more complicated than I thought at first, and there's a lot of things that we have to do first. So let's go ahead with them. There's first of all some instruments that we need, which we don't have yet. For example, this witch's distillery. So I'm gonna craft that and I'm gonna put it right here so that this can stay our little witchcraft corner. Then we've already got a witch's cauldron, but now we also need a witch's kettle. So we're gonna make that. And now last but for sure not least, we need a witch's altar, for which you need 6 altar blocks, and then once you place them, they're gonna build an altar. So we need rowan logs for that, which is the magical tree, then surround it with stone bricks. Then it's that mixed potion here on top. I'm hoping a water bottle will work as well. And then we need breath of the goddess and exhale of the horned one, and we get an altar block. Now the altar basically drains power from the nature surrounding it, so we're gonna want to place it somewhere in the forest here. And I think if I place this one now, yes, it's an altar. If I right click it now, it says that it's got a little over 1,000 power. We're gonna need more than that. I think for the broom, we're gonna need the maximum, which is 7,000. So yeah. You can maximize the power by placing 3 trinkets on it. The first thing we can do is a skull upgrade, which I think works best with a wither skeleton skull, and I know for certain that we got one of those from the haunted house. I just need to find it. Here we go. We got 2 wither skeleton skulls. We only need 1, so let's grab that. And now it's got over 3,000 already. And that was only one of 3 upgrades. So next we can do a chalice. Chalice works like this. And now it's got over 4,000 power. The chalice is going to give us even more power once we fill it with redstone soup, but we're not able to make that yet. So let's worry about the third trinket instead, which is a candelabra. Here we go. Oh, nice, it's raining. I love it. So comfy, really fitting the autumn vibe as well. And yeah, now we're almost at 5,000, but that's not enough. Now, as I said, the altar draws power from the nature surrounding it. So it's good that there's so many trees around, but there can be more. Let's grab some flowers and place them. Place some of these around here. Really smother the area in foliage. Let's check. Well, we're a little bit higher, but it's not doing as much as I was hoping it would. Okay, so I spammed the entire area with foliage for the altar, and I also made a very small path over to the altar here, and as you can see, I got it up to over 7,000. I just had to spam the entire area in leaves, bushes, and I think the key was to do a wide variance of plants. Now I have crops, both vanilla crops and magical crops. I got smaller foliage like lily pads. I put pumpkins here, some bamboo, then I don't see any right now, but I put a lot of brown mushrooms all over the area. Lots of flowers, every single kind of tree that I had, and with all of that we got it up to the level that we needed. But now it's so overgrown that it's really hard to find your way out of here if you don't follow the path. But anyway, now we got the instruments down, but we still need some ingredients, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go to the nether for some of them. We need some nether warts, at least 1 blaze rod, and at least 1 ghast tear. And actually, let's go back to the house, because I think for the ghast tear I'm gonna try and enchant a bow with infinity, because I have 6 arrows left, and that won't do. So we're gonna make a bow and then head over to our enchanting table. And there it is already. Nice. Okay, yeah, let's take that. And flame. Awesome. Now we put on our golden helmet, so I think that means we're ready to go to the nether. Let's go. Oh my god. That was not a good start. Now I say we just shoot every ghast we find while we go looking for a fortress, because I obviously will need to go to a fortress because we need both warts and blaze rods. I'm also gonna grab these bones. Always useful. And oh my god, no way. There's no way. We've been walking for like a minute. I swear we haven't been on the way any longer than that. I mean, I'm not complaining. Do I just jump? I mean, it's not gonna kill me, I think, but I'm gonna be low on health. Let's just go for it. Okay. That was actually not as bad as I thought at all. Also, there's a ghast, but it's flying over lava, so I'm not gonna be able to get the tear from him. I'm just gonna dig inside here. Okay. Looks like we've made it in. I'm gonna be embarrassingly careful about this. I am so scared right now. I hate the nether so much. Ooh, nice nether warts. It's one of the things we need. Ooh, yes, a diamond. Oh no. Oh, Jesus Christ, you scared me. Why am I hitting him with my bow? Okay, 1 blaze rod acquired. Oh, nice. 2 blaze rods are enough, so now let's go out and try to find a ghast. Yes. Doesn't drop a tear, did it? Nope. Please, please, please tell me you dropped the tear this time. Yes, there's one. Yes, yes, yes. I am so sick of the nether. Let's go home. We're not completely done yet collecting ingredients. We still got the worst things ahead of us. For some of the potions that we're making, we're gonna need something that's called tongue of dog. And to acquire that, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to kill a dog. Very much not happy about it, but it needs to be done. And to get that special drop, we need to craft a special kind of sword. I think it goes like this. It's called Arthana. Yes, there we go. So we need to kill a dog with this. And then we're also gonna kill a bat, which I'm not as sad about. But the dog, that's heavy. Oh no, there is one already. I am incredibly sorry, okay? I wouldn't do this if it wasn't necessary. And you didn't even drop it, did you? No. I'm gonna see whether I can maybe put looting on this. Looting too. Worth it. Nice. 2 tongue of dog. I don't have to kill any more dogs. Next, I think I'm gonna head off to look for a cave, because we also need the wool of a bat. Actually, we need 2 wool of a bat, so I'm gonna have to kill 2 bats. So I found a cave, and this is how deep I went without finding a bat, but now I am hearing one. I just gotta find it. Okay, so I found it, but there's also a creeper, and I'm a little scared that he'll blow up the bat. Okay, he didn't. But it didn't drop anything. Oh my god, yes it did. Yes, okay. It was just 1 and I'm pretty sure we need 2. But it's a start. Let's find another one. Yes, finally. That was such a pain. Have you ever tried killing a bat in Minecraft? It's a struggle, let me tell you that. Now, to get a flying broom, I'm gonna have to make a ritual with a broom and a flying ointment. And for the flying ointment, I'm going to need some simple ingredients like diamond, feather, the wool of the bat, which is, well, it's not simple, but we got it now, and belladonna. But then we're also going to need redstone soup and potion of swiftness, so let's start with that. I'm pretty sure the potion of swiftness is relatively simple and I can just use the vanilla one, at least I hope so. The problem is the redstone soup. For redstone soup we need redstone, which is simple, as well as mandrake root, tongue of dog, wool of bat and belladonna flower, but then for the drop of luck we combined some mandrake root, nether wart, tear of the goddess, refined evo and mutantis extremis in our kettle, and that gave us the drop of luck. And with that in the bag, we could finally brew some redstone soup, which was the last ingredient needed for the flying ointment. And here we go. Now we got everything ready for the flying ointment. So we just need to craft that, put it on our broom, and then we're ready to fly. Alright, flying ointment is done, and now we just need to make a broom quickly. And then we have to make our first circle magic rituals. So as you can see, I've already prepared the 2 outer circles with the white chalk, which was really very easy to make. And now the only thing that's missing is the gold heart glyph. That one needs to go right in the middle of the circles here. And then I have to throw in the flying ointment and the broom. And then I think I just have to right click the heart glyph. I think empty-handed, and then that should do the trick. And yes, that looks like just what we need. Awesome, yes, we got the enchanted broom. Now we can just place it, and I think right-click it. Yeah, that worked. I've mounted my first broom. That is so cool. I'd say I'm officially a witch now, right? And it's going so fast too. I love it. This will make my journey so much easier. I'm so happy we did this. Okay, so quick recap, we did all that very complicated magic so that we could have an easier trip up north, where I'm hoping to find some acacia as well as potentially a desert and a mesa biome. So I will just get ready, empty my inventory, and then we can fly. Let's jump on. There we go. Hi there. Look at that. So cute. Me on my little broom. There we go. I can already see our singular acacia tree. I was wrong. There are 2 acacia trees. Since we're surrounded by warm biomes here, let's see if maybe we can find some more we haven't found yet. It took us less than a minute of flying around and we located a mesa biome. So let's grab some terracotta, and then I'm hoping that we maybe also find some red sand and a cactus. There's 1 cactus down there. Let's grab a bunch of, well, everything around us. We made it back home. So let's plant the acacia saplings and the cacti. And then let's get started on the pumpkin. I started laying down the very rough shape of the house. This is not what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna change out the edges and everything. But this is gonna be the rough size of it. So let's try and make this look like a pumpkin. It was slightly more complicated than I had hoped it would be, but I think this at least somewhat resembles a pumpkin. This is what it looks like from above. I think it genuinely doesn't look too bad. I also ended up doing all of it with orange concrete instead of orange terracotta because the orange terracotta in comparison to the concrete looks very dark, and I felt like this color more resembles a pumpkin. And then I also used some red sandstone, some actual pumpkins, an acacia door, and even some orange wool in some spots. And then I also dyed some of my terracotta green and put that on top of it as a sort of stem. From the inside it's just an enchanting table. I put up some lighting, some candles and a jack-o'-lantern, and then also another anvil and a barrel. Now what we're gonna do next is I want this entire area to be some sort of marketplace, so I'm gonna fill in some market stalls here. Maybe like this, then put chairs like this as kind of a counter, and then in front we'll go up maybe 2. And then in the back, maybe 1 more. Wool on top. Let's try and do some fence gates here. I think I'm gonna put red banners here and then a white one in the middle. And now I'm gonna go ahead and build 4 more of those. Next we have to decide what each stand will sell and then decorate it. This is gonna be my market style. I mean, as witches, we have to live from something as well, right? First of all, I need some storage, of course. And then I have some goodies here. Obviously, one of the things that a witch can sell is potions. And there's several decoration items that I can do with my mods. First of all, there's this singular big potion. And then there's also this assortment of potions. Then I also have these herb things. If you look at it from this angle, it kind of does look like some dried herbs hanging down. I also have this that's pretty magical. Now I think that looks good. I am back with more goodies, and this time, as you can see, we're doing a pumpkin style. I've made this crate of pumpkin slices, and then I have some more pretty cool decorations. Most of them are modded, of course. This is magic vibe decorations, and I've already tried it earlier. It looks really cool. I have another pumpkin decoration, this one. Yeah, both don't need to be up there. I think I'm gonna put these up here and these on the ground. Then I have some item frames for pumpkin pie. Now I added a sign here, potions, herbs, curiosities, and this one will also get a sign. It's not gonna be very creative. We're just gonna name it everything pumpkin. Next we're doing this stall. It's gonna be a produce stall. I mean, there's a lot of pumpkin because it's Halloween season, so that one got its own stall, but it's also just general harvest season, so we're gonna need more than just pumpkins. So I've prepared some crates. We got a carrot crate here, a tomato one here, and an onion one here. And then, of course, we're gonna have some stuff here, some singular tomatoes. Let's do some corn. Let's also do some cabbage. I like that. For the next one, we're gonna make a hot drink stall. So we can just make very simple cups like this, and they're placeable like that. And I think that looks pretty cute. And then I think we're gonna make another one of these. And then I wanna make some of these and put them in an item frame. There's 3 options. We have hot cocoa, apple cider, and melon juice. Why don't we make hot cocoa and apple cider? Those in the middle. Oh, I can put more than one. Oh, that's so cute. And then the other one we're gonna do back here. Maybe I'll do a kettle or something, or a cauldron. Oh yeah, and then we can make it look like it's just a huge pot of coffee. I'm gonna do that. And of course the coffee needs to be hot, so I'm gonna put a campfire below. With some fantasy, it looks like this might be coffee. Okay, so I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out, but I just realized that we're missing a sign for both this one and the produce one. So let's just put happy harvest on here. harvest spruce, because why not? Okay, now there's only this one missing, and I'm thinking we could maybe do a flower stand. And then I'm gonna place a couple more of these hanging pot things. Then we gotta put up a sign for this as well. I'm gonna be very creative here and say flowers. And then we're done with our little market area, and I think it turned out pretty cute. We got some greenery here, like flowers, some produce, some hot drinks. That's my own little stand right here where I'm selling self-made goodies. And then of course I can't forget the pumpkin stand. I think this turned out pretty good. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I relocated these two stalls. They were, I think, here and here before, but they were kind of interfering with where I want the next building to go, which is right here. I've already put down the edges of it, and I want it to be some sort of bakery or cafe, because that's just what a cozy outer village needs. So we'll be working on that now. I'm gonna place down the edges. I think I want it to be like this, and then it's gonna be kind of L-shaped, so it'll go back all the way here. It'll only go as far as here. This is gonna be a little sitting area with some coffee tables where you can sit down, drink a hot beverage, eat a piece of cake maybe. And then this front part, I want to have a big window here where people can like look in and then see all of the goodies that are sold there. That's the plan. Okay, so the rough shape of the cafe is down. This is where the display will go, and this is where the little seating area will go. For now, we need to finish the exterior, add some details, and then of course also do the interior. For the outside of this display, I want to have some sort of awning. I think I want to go out with dark oak planks here, and then connect that down with fences. But one of my mods also adds actual awning that I think looks pretty cool. And basically all the different colors give you not just colors but also different patterns, similar to how Clay's terracotta works, I think. What I want to do is the red awning. I think that looks pretty good. The space on top of the awning will be filled with 4 banners, and I want them to spell cafe. I think I'm gonna do it in orange. All 4 letters are done. I think this is looking cool. Let's try and hang them up. It looks kind of Wild West, but it looks cool, I think. This area up here needs some decoration, and I've prepared these fairy lights. You can put them in a string as well, but you can also just put singular lights somewhere. Now next we should maybe take care of the floor. Okay, so I just realized that the floor is gonna be same height with the window, which I don't want. So maybe I'm gonna have a sunken floor here and then some stairs going up here. I'm pretty happy with that. And then we'll give them something to drink and eat. A slice of pumpkin pie here. Just a mug here. Now for the display, I'm just gonna do one of these tables. And then I've prepared one of the usual Minecraft cakes, even though in this resource pack it's a Halloween cake. And then I have 2 more item frames. So let's put a pumpkin pie here and maybe a cookie here. And then I also have this modded jar. And I think you can put things like cookies in there. Yes! And then it's gonna stack. Oh, that's so cute. These things need to be baked somewhere, so we need some sort of kitchen. I think I'm just gonna squeeze the kitchen down here. So we can have a cabinet here. Then we obviously need furnaces. And then another mod I have gives me this kitchen hood. And then we need some more cabinets up here. And then we obviously need some light. And here it's very dark. Now the only thing that's missing is some lighting outside of here. So let's place some lanterns. And I'm pretty happy with that. Let's have a look at it in FreeCam. Oh yeah, okay. Now that reminded me of the one thing that's missing, which is leaves. Very important. And now I think the cafe is done, and I think it's looking so cute. It's so warm and cozy in here. I'd love to have a hot cocoa here with a friend, just yapping, drinking. This is our area from above, and I'm gonna add some villager houses. I was thinking maybe here and here. Let's fill in some windows and doors. Now just some decorations and then the interior. And now the only thing that's missing for my 2 villager homes is an interior, so that our villagers can actually live in there. There's no really good spot to place a double bed, so I'm gonna make it 2 singles. I have 1 actual nightstand, a lamp on that one. Oh, that's a big one, but it's actually so cute. Now to the second house, and this time we'll do a green lamp. I just destroyed the beds in the dirt hut and the villagers followed me to the new home. I also locked them in, the other 2 are in the other house. With the villagers taken care of, we could maybe do a barn for the animals, just so we don't have the ugly fences there anymore. And then we might work on just decorating the area, prettying it up a little bit, bringing it all together. This is where the barn will go. It'll be very simple, very small. This will be the entrance, and then we'll have an area for the sheep and an area for the cows. So let's grab the materials we need and then build this up. And this is the rough shape of the barn down. I think the pillars are fine, but the roof definitely needs some texture. Okay, I have the barn so far finished. I put in some coarse dirt and path blocks in here so that it looks like animals have been trampling all over it. And now the one thing that's missing is actually putting the animals in, so let's grab them. We have this hay wheelbarrow. It's from Macaw's Holidays. Haven't actually tried this before. Oh, that's really cute. Now I think we got all of our buildings in. Now the one thing that's missing is to kind of tie it all together. Maybe some pathing, some lanterns. I want to start with the marketplace. Right now all of these stalls and the pumpkin are just standing on grass, and I think I want that to be a stone marketplace, or like a mix of stone, cobblestone and maybe stone bricks. The market area is in. Now I just need to somehow connect it to the paths that I already have without it looking completely weird. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do that all the way around the market. We are pretty much done with the path. We have this one leading down here, this one leading to my witch area, this one leading to the barn, and then here I connected this one to the marketplace. I've smoothed out the edge. That's the path to the manor. And then I've added 2 paths to the villager houses. One up here and one up here. And I think that's looking pretty good. Now I'm just gonna put some fences and leaves around the paths, just like this. Now the one thing we have left to do is bring it all together, fill the empty spaces, and then also do some decorations. So we got some empty spaces where I'm just gonna plant trees, I think, like here behind the villager houses. But then in areas like this, next to the path leading to my house, I also want to do some little pumpkin patches. And then what I feel might also look good, some berries maybe. That's pretty good. And then maybe we can do some wheat fields here. Yeah, I think it would fit like next to the barn. Okay, I grabbed a ton of wheat seed and also some roses because I think they go quite well together. And now there's actually some scarecrow decoration. There's so many actually. Okay, so I have a scarecrow's mod, and then there's this one from Macaw's Holidays. I'm gonna figure out how to make both scarecrows, and then we'll compare which one looks better, and we'll make some of those. I also did the wheat roses combination on the other side of this path because I think it looks better that way. And now I've prepared these two scarecrows. We got this one and we got this one. Honestly, I like both of them. That's so cute. Okay, let's grab some more water and get the next wheat field in. We are mostly finished with the village, but it is only day 195, so I still got 5 days left if I want to do this thing in 200. But that's not too bad because I just realized that there's streetlights missing all over the place, because streetlights is just an absolute essential for a cozy cottagecore village, right? I think we'll be going with a very simple design. Let's maybe do one right about here. I was thinking deep slate wall, then up with fences. I think I like that design, but I also think I want it to be dark oak instead of spruce. So I did a lot more things around the base, and now I had to stop because it is the evening of day 199, which means tomorrow is the date that we set ourselves to finish this. So how about I go to bed one last time, and then I will see you on the morning of day 200, and I will give you the final walkthrough and show you everything we've got. And with that, it is officially day 200. We survived 200 days in this world. Isn't that crazy? Let me show you around. We slept in our villager house number 1. Up here we have villager house number 2. Both of these, I think, turned out so cozy. I love it, especially with all these autumn decorations. I have added some more decorations because, well, the more the better. I added these lanterns all over the place. I decided to do just dark oak. Here we have the market stalls. You've seen them already, although I have added some more decoration here as well, like these placeable pumpkin lights and some more placeable pumpkins of different sizes. I think they look so cute, honestly. I've added some of those around the entire big pumpkin as well, and then to add another light source, I've also put some more jack-o'-lanterns here. Then of course we got our insanely cute cafe. I mean, look at this. I think those muffins are my favorite. They look so yummy. I think the cafe also turned out so cozy. I'm really happy with it. Now, as you can see, I've also added these string lights up here. It gives it some kind of autumn harvest festival vibe, and I really like that. Then we have all of our stalls, which also came out so cute. Then we got our fields. I got a pumpkin patch here with some scarecrows. Then we got our wheat and rose fields here. Then here we have our path to our witch area, to our witch hut over here. And then, of course, not to forget our haunted manor up there. And of course, the enchanting setup, which we ended up using, I think, twice. Once for infinity and once for looting, but it's pretty, so it's a good thing we built it anyway. I'm gonna show you the bird perspective ones because I think it looks so cool. I am very proud of what we've accomplished here. Anyway, I think this will be it for today. I had a lot of fun building this autumn village, and I hope you guys had just as much fun watching me build it. And I hope to see you again when I'm gonna do the exact same thing, building a Christmas village. So if you'd be interested in that, subscribe and tag along. I hope you have a very good time. Bye!